how to automate your real estate business today. This is exactly what we're going to get into at the moment. So if you're interested in using automations, more specifically AI automations, leveraging ChatGPT, this is the video for you. So we're going to get started right away. Let's get into it. So what do we need to do in order to do this automation? How do we actually automate our real estate business through ChatGPT? Now, here's one of the things that is happening across the industry right now. You see a brand new brand new large language model. You see a Claude, you see a Grok, you see a ChatGPT. You see all these do exponential gains in their learning, in their logic, in their understanding, in their capacity, and that's all fantastic. However, you still have to sell real estate. Right, so that's one thing. Now, that's what's happening in the industry as a whole. It's going extremely fast. The second component is you see a lot of educators out there just conceptualize some things that might help, that could work, but it isn't that practical. So you have, let's call it the guru, and I guess some would call me, would add me to that group, I guess. But the difference is that I'm a practitioner. So we do have a production team here locally in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So a lot of the things that we do, we are actively, not a lot, all of the things that we do get implemented into our real estate business, which is something that can't be said for a lot of the individuals that are the talking heads and are just playing around with Claude, trying to figure out Claude, ChatGPT, and all these others how to sell you something. That's what's happening in the space. So the next component to that though is, so you have all of these changes happening. You see the changes actually happening in real time. And then on top of that, the problem that you're seeing is that it doesn't have a use case. So that's the backdrop. So that's what we're going to address that today. We're actually going to work on tools that actually work for you. We're going to work on automations that actually make sense for your real estate business. So the first thing that you have to do, because no guru can save your business, no AI can save your business, only you can do that. The first thing that you need to do is decide what you need fixed, what you need addressed, what automation, what can actually help you in your business. Is it, if you do analysis for properties, is there an automation that you can create? Short answer is yes. Is there an automation that you can create that analyzes a property for you? So when you're providing feedback to a client that's an investor, does this property make sense? You have that answer by clicking one button, by running it through your GPT. And once again, the answer is yes. Now I'm going to show you how to create that and more in our session today. But first, you need to decide, what is it that you're doing in your day-to-day that you need to buy time back from? What is it that you're doing in your business today that could be done better? Are you showing 10 homes to individuals right now? Is there a way to review all those properties? Again, the answer is yes. Review all those properties, schedule them, and go on them in a more optimized way. This week, we talked about how to actually optimize your showing schedule, something that we covered at length. So number one is decide, what does that need to look like? What can I actually do, or what do I need to do in my business to actually make it work for me? Now, the second thing that needs to happen, because we are talking automations, because we are talking about ChatGPT, is actually create something around that task that we need to create. So again, if you're let's say if you're on the listing side, is there a checklist that you need to go through before you take on a listing? Is there a CMA as an example? Can you use AI? Again, short answer is yes. Can you create a GPT that can do the CMAs for you, right? So the first thing is decide what is it that needs to be fixed, and then the second thing is, how do I myself do, let's say, showing scheduling as an example, CMAs, property analysis, property descriptions, do social media posts, all of the billion things that we do as real estate agents. What is it that we do? So, and also, how do we actually do them? So as an example, if you do a CMA, we'll probably use CMA as that seems to be the most complex thing that a lot of individuals have a hard time conceptualizing, that AI can actually take off your plate. So with that as the background, we can go into and actually build something out on that standpoint. So let's say, how do I actually do this myself? Meaning, if I had to teach this to a new agent that just joined my team or my brokerage, how do I teach them? How did I learn, right? So essentially, you need to gather your thoughts, your frameworks, your everything into one place. So how do I do this myself? Then what you have to do is document. Again, this goes to anything. I'm giving you just some easy entry points. Then you go on to document. So you're going to document. You can document via text, so essentially written, audio, or visually. You can document how you're going about that. So commonly referred to as an SOP, so standard operating procedures. So if you have a way, let me rephrase that. If you have a way that you do CMAs, what you need to do is you need to go ahead and document that aspect so you can get all of your thoughts out there. So if there's a CMA, there's a way that you do a CMA and you need that automated, well, you can go through and you automate that very, very easily by automate it very, very easily by documenting how you would do it. Or if you don't know how to do a CMA, then there's 100 videos on YouTube right now that you can synthesize, pull from, and then create your own GPT, which is essentially the last step in this creation, right? So one, you need to decide what you need to address. What is a repetitive task that you continue to do? What needs to be fixed? Two is identify how you yourself are doing this, with CMAs, property analysis, blah, blah, blah. So identify, is this something I'm actually doing and how do I do this? And if you don't have a model yourself, then there's plenty of models out there from your broker, from your team lead, from the videos that you see on YouTube. Then you go on to document that. So I have to document and get in one place all of how I would do a CMA as an example, because it's that final piece there that you get to embed into your GPT, into your ChatGPT, which you'll see here shortly. So I hope this is making sense. Let me know in the chat if there's something that's not as clear so we can get into it. But what we need to do now is we need to go over and do the actual important part here. So when you go to your ChatGPT, what you're going to do is going to go to your left-hand side, and you're going to go to Explore GPTs. Now we have several already saved here. So we know how we do open houses. We know what we do when we get under contract. We know when we do our CMAs, which is, again, the AI hyperlocal CMA that we have here is we just use AI to create our CMAs. It's all fun. But in other words, if you have not done a custom GPT or anything to do with GPTs, then this is going to be blank, and all you're going to see is Explore GPTs. So there's a few GPTs out there that already exist, but honestly, many of them are still untested. Many of them are just created out of gimmicks. They're not going to be all that powerful, specific to your need. So you get to create that. So all you'll have to do is go to the top right-hand side and click Create. So whatever problem you're trying to solve, this is where the answer goes into, right? So as an example, once again, if you needed to create your CMA, your ChatGPT, which is something that we've done, but if you wanted to do a CMA, let's just stick with that, because again, that seems to be the most complex thing that a lot of agents aren't aware that can actually be done for their business. So if you needed to create a CMA, AI generated CMA, all right, so that's the title. That's something that you will see how to, this is exactly how it's going to show actually in the preview, right? Now the description, this is something that is going to give you because once you create all these GPTs, it's going to get confusing. What does this GPT do? What exactly is this going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Description is going to be provide a hyper accurate estimated value of a home. All right, that's what this GPT is designed to do. That's what it's designed to create. Now that's the description. You really haven't done anything. This is just more of internal notes. Think of this as your filing system. Where the logic, the important part, the incredible thing that actually will move the needle, it comes into play is in the instructions. Either you embed the instructions here, or you upload files that have the instructions in place. So let's take this into account. Let's say you have a phenomenal instructor you went to your association, you had a phenomenal instructor that did a training on CMAs and gave you every single thing that they knew. Like they gave you their cheat sheets, like this is, if this, then that. If this property is here, then do that. If this property has X, Y, and Z, do this. Like if there's a lot of rules, a lot of documentation already in place, don't reinvent the wheel. This is basically them doing your homework for you. The documentation is already done, right? So at this point, you don't have to do a ton to make it work for you. So again, if the wheel is already created, you don't need to recreate it. This is going to allow you to move a lot faster. So let me pull up something else real quick just so you see it. The instructions here. The instructions is what's important here. So in the instructions, what you're going to need is either you input the instructions directly into this text, or you upload the files. Going back to that example, if that instructor that did the CMA class gave you their notes and they're very detailed, all you have to do is upload those notes. But from the instruction standpoint, is all you'd have to say is something similar to, you are a local, highly experienced real estate agent in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. I'm in Dallas-Fort Worth. That's exactly where it is. You are the go-to when it comes to creating accurate, extremely accurate CMAs. So comparable market analysis. So when I provide you details of a home, number of beds, number of baths, etc., you will review that information and give me your expert opinion on the value of the home. Something like that, right? So that's a very basic. I'm going to show you how to fill out the rest of it. In fact, I'm going to give you the opportunity to use the exact GPT that we use. But what we're solving for, the important thing here when it comes to automating your business using GPT, is identifying what you need fixed. Going back here, identifying what you need fixed, how you go about addressing that that task altogether, documenting it. So essentially using a video, using an audio, using text form, writing it down, having that in one place so you can then upload it here, more specifically the text files, so the GPT can actually go there and work for you. So as an example, if I wanted to recreate my ChatGPT or my GPT that already does CMAs, I can just copy and paste the notes that I have or the actual instructions that I have for hours right now. So here, you're a hyper-local real estate agent that's pricing, blah, blah, blah. So then this is the information that we need to feed it. These are the things, these are the parameters that I put in place. This is the expert part of it, right? So this is more of how I do the CMAs. This is what my experience has taught me. Now, again, if you don't have the experience quite yet, no worries. There's plenty of videos out there from creators that do have experience in real estate that will gladly take their parameters into place. These are some of the adjustments that I make when it comes to pricing, and then onward and onward. So then you see what's required here. But the important part that makes this absolutely killer for us is when we go ahead and upload the information in here. What we're asking for along the way is we're asking this ChatGPT itself is designed to ask you, hey, do you have any additional information that you can give me to make a hyper local CMA? So here, the way that we do it is by going into the MLS and pulling as much data that's local and relevant to feed it into the GPT. Now I have a video where I show you exactly how this works. You can model it, and if you want again this particular CMA, the instructions, then go ahead and go to my Instagram. I'll pull it up here and DM me CMA so I can send it over to you. This is my Instagram, Jaime RSNDZ. The important thing here that I want to illustrate to you is that once you create this CMA conversation starter, give me property details. So this is the prompt. This is the first domino that starts everything here. So if this is a GPT that I've created to create CMAs, then of course you're going to need the property details. So once again, you're going to need the address, you're going to need the number of beds, baths, and all that fun stuff. So this is essentially what we asked for up here from the GPT. We need to provide this in order for it to go out there and give us an opinion of value. Now this one's been tested quite extensively from all the CMAs that we do. But the more important thing that I want to illustrate here is that once again, in order to automate your business on your GPT, on your ChatGPT or any other model for that matter, you need to know what task you're solving for. You need to know how you actually go about doing it or how other people do the same thing and be able to document that so then you can upload it into this Save GPT, which is going to run on your behalf at that point. So again, if you have if you want to see how this particular GPT works, then check out the other live stream that we did. I think it was on Monday or on Tuesday when we did the CMA, and I gave you a real life example, not real life example, I give you the exact thing that we use here for our hyper local CMAs. So here, once we input the property information, it goes out and gives us the information, the value of the home with one click. Now here, whenever we're doing showings, we input all of the showings that we're going to go and show, and then it goes out there and optimizes it for us. So we have a lot of things that we've already created custom GPTs for, which allow us to move a lot quicker. So if you're looking to automate your business, yo, hey, good day. Who's this? Good day with Ricky Ray. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. When you're looking to automate your business, it's not trying to go out there and get all of these widgets, all of these tools, all of these theories from individuals that are trying to sell you something. Is look in your business first and then have the AI solve those issues, right? So oftentimes when we bring on external information, then we're adding more complexity, we're adding issues to our business. So had we looked inside of our business first and then going there and doing that at the beginning, you would see your life go a lot better overall. So hopefully this was helpful in some way. The important thing here is identifying what you need fixed in your business, and going ahead and using AI to solve that in your business, and then just look for that next problem, that next problem, that next problem. Your business should be compounding in terms of revenue for sure, but also time savings. You should be saving more and more time in an exponential way if you're leveraging these GPTs the way that they're supposed to be leveraged, or any other AI model out there. All right, well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for hopping on. If you need anything from me, let me know outside of that. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.